Hi, I'm Dylan.
Hi, I'm Neil, and this is Youth on Subjects of the World. Now, today, we're talking. Let me just let Dylan explain it.
What is going on? Okay. Yeah, we were just joking before a little bit.
Dylan was just
So
saying that what he was. We're talking today. We're talking about the 2020 Democratic candidates.
mm.
Now, so
And also possibly the one
the
Republican.
one, yeah, the one, like the freaking lone soldier. Like, so we got to salute that guy. It's like trying to think of a movie. It's like when you see someone.
Literally the biggest asshole in the world.
This guy, he's going off to like an impossible fight trying to beat Trump in the Republican primary, and you're just like, good luck. He was, I think he was Gary Johnson's VP.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, Gary Johnson's candidate for VP. It was his running mate. So he's a libertarian. And that makes sense. It makes sense why he would be opposed to Trump, because he's a libertarian. Because if Trump is libertarian. But today we're talking about the 2020 presidential primary candidates. I don't know how we can start this. I think we can start this by just...
Well, Neil, did you pull a list up on your computer?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to pull a list up. But let's start with the obvious one, the big boy, the man himself, Joe Biden.
Oh, isn't he like, I don't know. He's just like, me and Neil will talk about him a few times. How he's just fucking old as hell. Holy shit.
Nancy Pelosi is 79 years old.
Seriously? Yeah, well, she's old as shit too.
All these politicians are just like ancient. My God.
Mm-hmm. Like, how do they even know what's going on? Like, what the fuck?
I know.
But I don't know. And didn't he get in trouble too for something like him and his like son went to China and then made some deal with the Chinese banks?
What, Joe Biden?
Yeah, I thought I read something.
Probably. I don't know.
Like I don't know, something like that. They got a lot of money from these Chinese banks and they used government money to do it.
So Joe Biden has probably gotten a lot of he started with the highest polling numbers.
Just because people like know him and he's so boring.
Name recognition is probably the biggest thing.
I mean, everybody knows who Joe Biden is.
He's been dropping in the polls ever since. That doesn't mean he won't win just because he's been dropping in the polls. It just means that basically other candidates are gaining traction. But what does he really stand for? We can go through his platform if you want, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe, good old Joe. And we're definitely going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Beto O'Rourke, and how he totally distant. Okay, we'll get to that. But
Richard O'Rourke, Neil. Okay, get his name right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get into that too. This freaking hack from day one. Okay. All right. All right. We'll go. Is he like a? Let me go to his website because like there's just a bunch of like other places that are.
He's just like the most boring person in the entire world.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah. I do like a lot of what he's saying though.
It's not bad. It's just boring as fuck.
It's just, it's not that I don't like his platform. It's not that I don't like him. It's that I don't think he'll win against Trump. We need something to excite the electorate. And Joe Biden has the possibility of putting them to sleep.
Yeah.
And now that being said, Joe still has a pretty good chance of winning. The reason I think I say this all the time. I don't think Trump won because Trump was running. I think Trump won because Hillary was running.
Yeah, she just said
that's why Donald Trump won. So all right. Here's some of his main things. Restoring the basic bargain for American workers. Oh, okay. All right. What the fuck? $15 minimum wage on the federal level. Okay, fuck you, Joe. So he wants to do a $15 minimum wage on the federal level. Just like absolutely just Joe wants to take his finger and stick it firmly up the ass of the American economy. Let's talk about why. Okay, now we should probably talk about why the minimum wage is, especially a high minimum wage, is a really bad idea. Well, number one, it causes inflation. This is the simplest one. We're going to talk about this with Andrew Yang too, because the math guy needs a math lesson. But
is Andrew Yang coming on the podcast too, Neil?
So if I give $10 if I give $10 to Dylan and Dylan and I get $10 each, every time we exchange something, if everyone gets $10, okay, everything is going to be worth $10 more because everybody is increasing. That's the basic, and this isn't a claim.
It would be like adding, like just giving everybody an extra $1,000. It wouldn't change anything.
Right.
And then it would reward the stupid people who would spend all the $1,000 instead of saving it, because the money would actually have value. And before the vendors could realize, people are selling.
You're fucked because it goes down. So what you really should do if Andrew Yang wins, what you should really do with his UBI thing is invest $1,000 immediately. Because if you keep that $1,000 and you save it, you're fucked because inflation is going to take over. And you're just going to lose that $1,000 because everything will be worth $1,000 less. The only thing that is about the UBI thing is that is kind of interesting is that Alaska has it and they're fine. But Alaska has a nothing population. So, so anyways, but $15 federal minimum wage, stupid as fuck, not just because of inflation, but also because it's going to put small businesses out of business. Having a minimum wage, first of all, in a developed country like the United States, a minimum wage just stops people from getting jobs where they want to get jobs. Like it's like, okay, if I'm homeless, okay, and the only jobs are $15, and again, I know it's already hard to get a job when you're homeless because they ask for a home address. But we're not talking about that. We're saying hypothetically, I didn't need that. If I was homeless and I wanted to get a job, if every single place is offering a job and they have to say $15 an hour, why would they hire me for some low labor, nothing job? Unless they can hire me for $7 an hour or something less, at least I have the choice to work at a place, right? Having no minimum wage basically offers me a freedom of choice to work where, I want to work. And because while $15 minimum wage is, I suppose it's good for people that are who are only working minimum wage jobs and that's it. But I mean, it's not really good for anyone else who's in the workforce or wants to enter the workforce because it makes companies want to hire people less.
Like part of the thing with even just working at McDonald's is part of the thing of working at McDonald's is that like you just get experience in jobs, like showing up on time and in general just how a job works.
There are a few people that like work at McDonald's like all the time and full time, but a lot of people are just like college students who are just doing it for spare money, and they don't need a $15. I mean, it's good, but they don't.
Yeah, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't make any sense to me, the whole thing where it's like everyone should have a living wage for like a family. Like you shouldn't be starting a family if you are working like at McDonald's. If you still are only working at McDonald's and making minimum wage.
You have to be able to get jobs if there's a federal minimum wage at $15. Okay, so I can see some states doing it because some states have like high inflation already and they have, but a federal minimum wage will fuck some states over. Mississippi having a federal minimum wage of $15, I think it'll throw their economy to a tailspin. Like California can get away with it because their cost of living is so fucking high, and they already have a bunch of inflation. But states like Mississippi, I mean, no, the fuck.
It's just crazy. It seems such.
I mean, it seems like a good idea. It's like more money equals good. But I mean,
if you just think about it.
Think about it for those 5 seconds. Andrew Yang actually even opposes the $15 minimum wage, even though he is in favor of UBI, because it puts small businesses out of business.
Like I know even for our school, we were talking about this. If we had to hire somebody, like it's almost like making jobs illegal because it's just sick. If we wanted to hire somebody, let's say we have enough money to hire somebody for $10 or $11 an hour.
And they'll do it.
Not just
want to work at the school.
That's just what we have. We don't have $15 an hour. So that was $10, $11.
We can't legally say we're employing them because then we'll be shut down. We can't say we're employing you. We have to say something else because we can't do that. And what if I want to work? What if like Dylan and I are like, oh, this guy's at the beach and he's like, hey man, I'll give you like $6 an hour if you just do this shit for me and like da. Obviously, if it's under the table, it's fine because the government doesn't know. But first of all, it shouldn't have to be under the table for the government. Like, it shouldn't have to be under the table. to be able to do it no matter what. It's the same thing with like some child labor laws. They really don't have much place in the developed country anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if I want to work for some guy at his like restaurant for like $6 an hour, and I'm totally fine with that, and I just want to get the job experience, I just want to do a very, very, very simple task, I should legally be able to do that. It's making I know it sounds good on paper, but it's making working illegal.
Yeah.
And it makes it so that only the massive companies can afford to hire massive amounts of people on the minimum wage. It makes it so that small companies can't have workforces of low skill workers. They simply can't afford them. And then it puts those people out of jobs. Anyways, it's a stupid fucking thing. Moving on. We should stop companies from classifying low-wage workers as managers in order to avoid paying them the overtime they've earned. We should stop companies from classifying low-wage workers as managers in order to stop paying them the overtime they've earned. I can see where that's coming from. That makes sense to me. I'm always hesitant with the government just jumping in and regulating anything, just because I'm not one of those people who are brainlessly no government regulations like Ted Cruz. I just think that, like, just think before you regulate. But I mean, that makes sense. Like, some regulations are needed. I mean, it makes sense. I don't know if I'd support it right away, but I can see exactly where it's coming from. We have to stop Republicans' attempts to strip away workers' rights from unions and collectively bargain. So the thing about unions, the only weird thing about them is that they require people to pay like union dues, and that's bullshit. That's like a fucking mob.
I did hear it was, I remember hearing about this. It was some Supreme Court case like around last year where it was this one guy who was, I forget what union, I don't know if he was I think he was a part of it, and they made him pay union dues, and he like refused to because he didn't want to support liberals. Or maybe he wasn't even, I don't even know if he was supported by the union. And it was just something crazy that he didn't think it was like ethical or whatever.
You have to pay the union.
What?
I said this. I don't think you should have to pay the union.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
That was interesting.
No private, no spin-off organization within a company that you're working for should force you to do anything. But I don't know. I mean, this thing, I guess it kind of makes sense. His thing there, I don't know. We also have to stand against wage suppression through the non-compete clauses. I think I know what that is. What is it? We have to stand against wage suppression through non-compete. I don't know exactly what that is. We'll move on.
We're going to have to move a little faster, though, Neil, if we want to go through all, whatever, 20 of them.
We need to put an end to unnecessary occupational licensing requirements. Any things that are just, like, not that radical, we're just going to move on from and not even talk about them. Guaranteeing every American the skills and education. Okay, this is education. Let's not even talk about that. It's probably pretty universal. Making sure the peace of mind, healthcare. Okay, let's look at healthcare. We should give every American the right to choose a public option like Medicare. I agree with that. Give every American the right to choose it, but do not abolish private healthcare like some candidates want to do. Climate change, reforming our criminal justice system, rewarding work, not just wealth. Let's look at that. The first step to reversing Trump's tax cuts for the super wealthy and corporate. Okay, so they're going to reverse the tax cuts for the super wealthy and corporations. I agree with that. We need to eliminate special tax breaks and reward special interests. All right. We need to get rid of capital gains loophole for multimillionaires. Warren Buffett said it best. He should not pay a lower tax rate than his secretary. Yeah. So I agree with all that. That all makes sense to me. The last one especially about getting rid of, because if you get capital gains, which is just like things from like assets, like returning assets, you don't get it. It doesn't really get taxed, and that's how most multimillionaires make their money, and it doesn't get taxed. So we'll get rid of that. All right, we're done with Joe Biden. Basically, good guy, I like his platform, but I feel like he's going to put the American electorate to sleep. Maybe he won't. Who knows?
I do want to talk about Bernie Sanders. He seems like a big.
Let's talk about Bernie Sanders. He is definitely a fucking character. Okay, so this is where Dylan and I are going to probably make fun of him. He's fucking crazy. Okay, he's a fucking lunatic. Like, it's the 1%. Bernie, there was a murder down the street. The fucking 1% did it. It's like, oh my God, Bernie, fucking chill. Okay, so let's talk about his policies.
He's like your fucking 20-year-old liberal millennial idiot.
Except he's 90.
He just had the same message, and just for forever, he's like just waited until people agreed with him. He's like, I finally made it. Like, I don't know.
So he wants healthcare for all. That's fine, but I think does he want to abolish private? Let's see. If he does, it's fucking stupid. We say to the private health insurance companies, whether you like it or not, the United States will join every other major country on earth and guarantee health care to all its people as a right. All Americans entitled to go to the doctor when they're sick and not to go bankrupt after staying in the hospital. So yeah, I'm okay with that. But the whole thing is like, I don't know if it wasn't, I think it was Elizabeth Warren who just said to abolish private health care and someone else. But
which is nuts, so.
Yeah. What is nuts, so? Abolish private healthcare?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. You can't abolish like a quarter of the economic sector.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing he wants to do is to jobs for all. I think it's like his public sector job thing.
Mm-hmm.
The workers reviewing infrastructure with drinking water, nation ages. Okay, I'm trying to think. What are some of his policies that we mainly wanted to talk about? I think it was college, free college.
Yeah.
So yeah,
here, you can start off about it.
Right, so the whole thing. Okay.
I'm gonna go off for a second. I gotta switch how I'm sitting.
Okay, so college. All right, so college. How college should college be free? I'm going to go ahead and say, no, it shouldn't. And why? Because it's simply, here's the problem. Now, I do agree with some of the policies of community college should be free. That makes sense to me. But college itself being free, here's what it does. If college is completely free, as in there's literally no like defect from going into it, it basically just extends schooling. Because if everyone has college degree, then no one has a college degree. It just extends the schooling by 5 more years. So everyone should go to school for four more years or so to get the same standard of education as everyone else. And it's not just that, it's also incredibly impractical because first of all, we shouldn't be our goal shouldn't be every American should be able to go to college for free. Our goal should be every American should be able to not go to college and still make a good living. Mm-hmm. That's what our goal should be. That's much more fucking attainable, I can tell you that. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it's so much money for something that would work so much less than just trying to do that. So, Dylan, why don't you talk about the money, about how his plan about the Wall Street tax?
Oh, yes. I thought that was so weird where it's just like, we'll pay off all the student loans in the entire universe, which I think is so messed up just because the same people like Bernie Sanders, 60 years ago was like, I don't know, maybe it was 60 years ago, but, a long time ago. We're like, let's make these student loans so that everybody can go to college, and then you just pay us back later. You can just pay us back later. It's fine. But then, colleges start realizing that literally everybody can afford to go to college. I mean, in actuality, you can't afford it. You just have this made up, you just believe that you can. And so colleges, being businesses, not like businesses for profits, are like, let's raise the price up. We can raise it up as high as we want to because people will still come and they'll still pay us. So like when my mom went to college, a state university, it was like, I don't know, $5,000 a year. And now the same university is like $30,000 a year. Something insane. And that's in state. So it's just like insane how the same like kind of, I mean, not to really trash talk liberals because we're kind of them too, but it's like the same people who were like, we'll have these student loans that everybody can go to college, are the same people saying, let's get rid of the evil student loans so that everybody will have infinite amounts of money.
Do you know just like how like I think like it made college more expensive, the government getting involved in it.
Yeah, everything. I mean, just look at it. Everything the government touches gets shittier, like slower and more expensive.
That's
I
what
really like.
I
There was some quote. I forget. It was some. I forget who it was, but he was like, if you gave the government rights to the Sahara Desert in a few years, there'd be a shortage of sand. So it's just the government makes everything slower, more expensive, and worse quality.
See, that's the thing because again, when everyone is guaranteed a student loan by the government, it becomes more expensive because the government has to pay for it. When the government has to pay for it, and again, when the government has to pay for it, and they're also private with the call it, when the government has to pay for it, you end up having the problem. You end up having the problem where you have people that are sorry. You end up with the problem with what was I saying? People, right? The colleges start charging more and more and more because they can charge more because they have on one hand they have no negotiating power because there are a bunch of other people that are going to college with other loans, and they also have to pay anything that the college says. So they just hike the fucking prices up, and then you're fucked. So that's why. So yeah, ridiculous, stupid. Let's talk about his gun. Let's talk about Bernie's gun policies. He wants to take on the NRA and its corrupting effect on Washington. The NRA has become a partisan lobbying public relations.
Here, can I talk about that one?
Yeah.
All right. I thought that was so dumb. The whole thing is like NRA is what, like the 14th or something most giving, or more than that. I don't even know. It's not that high up on the amount of money it gives to lobby. Like the reason that they're so powerful, honestly, is not because of the amount of money they have. It's because people support them and support the right to own guns. Like, because they have millions and millions and millions of followers who all want these rights and who all vote. Like, maybe because that's what America wants. Like, that's the whole thing with democracy. So you can be against it, but don't just make up bullshit. I mean, a lot of people support the NRA maybe for a reason. Maybe it's not for a good reason, but it's like, that's what America wants.
Yeah.
They're voters. They don't give a tremendous amount of money. They have freaking voters. They may be idiots, but like...
The problem I have with this statement is not that the NRA is bad or good. It's that it says its influence must be stopped. What the fuck are you going to do, Bernie? What the fuck are you going to do? He didn't say how he's going to do it. He didn't say shit. He's like, we're going to stop it. What the fuck? How? Like, you can't stop. I'm not supporting the NRA. I don't support the NRA.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I don't support the NRA. I don't like them. I support universal background checks and all that shit. But just saying it must be stopped is bullshit. Anyways, here's another one that I'm sure one about. Ban the sale and distribution. I'm going to say it in his voice. Ban the sale and distribution of assault weapons. Assault weapons are designed and sold as tools of war. There's absolutely no reason why these firearms should be in the hands of civilians. Okay. So first of all, assault weapons don't kill more people than handguns do. Like, handguns kill way more people. And in the case of mass shootings, assault weapons can be just as effective as handguns in that situation. I mean,
honestly, I hate that they even call them assault rifles. Like, if you really want to get down the nitty gritty, like, assault rifles aren't legal and haven't been legal for like forever, since like Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean,
and the last time the government even used AR-15s was like Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like, it's not military. Like, these are not, like, the military does not use these guns. They use, like, I don't know, similar guns, but they're much, much more updated because these are the guns from the 70s. I mean, they kind of look the same, but they're not.
And the whole point of the Second Amendment is to make sure that the American people can defend themselves from a tyrannical government.
That's literally the entire point of it. It's not that you can just own guns for the hell of it. It's so that you have the right to form a militia, and part of that is the right to bear arms.
Right. And some people say, like, and I heard this argument before, it's like, oh, well, then people should be able to, by that look, people should own tanks, but you don't want that now, do you? Well, the thing is that 300 million, like, or even a million, like 100 million Americans armed with guns, like the government isn't just going to slaughter its own population that much in today's world. The soldiers aren't going to do that. They're not just going to slaughter their entire population just like that. But yeah, Dylan seems to have been, he seems to be gone for some reason. I guess his connection dropped. He'll be back soon. I don't know what happened, but yeah.
No, I don't know what happened. Sorry, it
Yeah,
just
no
clicked
problem.
off.
I was just talking about how, like, you hear what I was saying?
No, I didn't. My whole thing.
I was just saying about how, like, assault weapons are people. I'm zoned out today, but
Idiot.
and I was so hyped the last episode about Trump. I was so fucking pissed. So use up all that energy, but yeah, I mean, yeah, people should have the right to own assault weapons because one, it doesn't really, they're not really much more dangerous than handguns. They don't kill more people than handguns. And in the case of mass shootings, 2 handguns can be just as effective as an assault weapon. Because again, these assault weapons, they're a single fire, boom, 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 boom. I mean, it's obviously faster than that. But you don't just hold the trigger and it goes, brrr. Those have been banned for many years.
Mm-hmm. And like, it's interesting too. Like, I don't even know if this has to do with racism, but honestly, like, if you really did care, the people mainly get killed from handguns.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's kills the most people. Like, an insane amount of people, much more than assault rifles. Because look at, like, in, I don't know, in cities and other places, like, that's where, people don't just get shot with assault rifles, they get shot with handguns. So if you really wanted to stop the amount of deaths, you do that, not the assault rifles, because assault rifles...
This is a good segue into Eric's small penis.
Mm-hmm.
So Eric's small penis...
Wait, Neil, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done? Okay.
So then it's like, what the fuck do you care about? You just care about the white kids in the white schools, or the white kids are being shot. And it's not like, it's trying to grant it, but it's like, look at it. I mean, that's what you're really talking about. Nobody dies in that. 70 people got killed in school, like in school shootings or mass shootings or whatever. That's like nothing. It's nothing. Like, sure, it's scary because it seems like people are coming into your own land and maybe it can be stopped, but like, it's just trying to make laws against shark attacks almost. I mean, it seems like a little crazy to me. Like, not too many people die from those kind of shootings, like these mass shootings. I just think that it's like mildly racist. That if you really cared, you would you would ban handguns, or just at least be talking about it. No one's even talking about that. I don't even agree with it, but no one's talking about it. If they actually care, that's
You think they're just like grandstanding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking, you can see my screen now. Can you see my screen, Dylan?
Yes.
Okay. Eric Swalwell has the most disappointing website I've ever seen. It's one page, and it's just like a bunch of reading, which I'm not going to do because I don't like no reading. But it's just bullshit. What? This is his website. It's crap. I was going to go to his website, screen share, shopping sharing, and then just talk about like a platform. But no, his website's crap. I guess he knows he's going to lose. Anyways, so Eric Swalwell is not only arguing for, because remember, Bernie Sanders just wants to stop the sale. Eric Swalwell wants to completely ban them and take them back, like a buyback, where he'll buy them back, a mandatory buyback. Like, I'd be okay with a government-funded buyback. Actually, I wouldn't be, because it's a waste of money. But, I mean, I would still understand it. But what I wouldn't understand is a mandatory buyback, for all the reasons we just stated. First of all, you're not taking Billy Bob's gun. I don't care what you say, all right? Billy Bob's not giving you his gun. Go ahead and try. Not going to work out well. It's going to be a huge fucking mess.
I do actually think, if there was a serious thought to try and take away all the guns, that there might be another civil war.
I don't think there'd be a civil war, but I think it'd be
fun. I don't know. It would be pretty fun crazy.
First of all, that would, yeah.
That's just, I think, part of the American culture is like, you're not going to fucking, you're not going to take shit away with me. You're not going to not gonna mess with my life, or and that's just the whole American point of view. The whole culture of it is kind of like, don't mess with me and I won't mess with you.
Yeah.
Like with everything, liberals, Republicans, fucking everything. Don't fuck with me and I won't fuck with you.
And the problem is, it's just that's just their attitude, and
Which I honestly think is reasonable.
yeah, I think it's a reasonable thing. Like just, and the problem is that the assault weapons, I would understand. Like obviously, no one wants RPGs to be in the hands of Americans.
Yeah.
But assault weapons, they don't really pose any more danger. It's just a waste of government money. It's a waste of government time, and it's a waste of our time. And yeah, it limits our freedom for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're now going to talk about Beto O'Rourke. I cannot wait to talk about
Beto Richard / Beta
O'Rourke up in here.
All right, Neil, you seem to hate him more than I do.
I don't know. I don't know. You really? I probably do. Okay, but first, let's get an introduction to this. This wonderful fucking hunk of a man. Let's give an introduction to this guy. All right. So, all right, Dylan, please tell your story.
Oh yes, I was listening to a very interesting podcast, and they're basically saying that Beto O'Rourke's, I don't know if it's the other way around, but his dad calls him Richard, but he thought that since just to get the Hispanic vote, they name him Beto, which is just insane. Like when he was born, like what the fuck is wrong with this? Like, but his dad calls him Richard, or it might be the other way around. His real name might be Richard, but it's not Beto. Like what everybody calls him is Richard. It's like what the fuck? What? Like just so he could get the Hispanic vote, his dad named him Beto, or his nickname is Beto. I forget which way it's around.
Robert Francis O'Rourke. You lying fuck!
Isn't that hilarious?
What a dick!
That's just like so crazy. That it's like the Hunger Games where there's like the careers, and they're like trained from birth to be able to go in the Hunger Games.
Look at this fucking look! Oh my god! Oh my! This looks like a fucking Richard. Can I just say that? Oh sorry.
Mm-hmm.
This asshole. This guy looks like
yeah. Beto is his nickname, just so we could get the
Hispanic vote. Fuck! What the hell? That's such bull. And also, it's funny because he said his dad calls him Richard, but it's like should call him by the nickname if it's a nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Like
after this, I want to talk about Kamala Harris. Great.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, the not the Nazi, not I'm kidding, but But okay, so let me talk about how much I hate this guy. Okay, I don't know if you guys have watched. Can we show like clips from the debate? I don't think we can. Are we allowed to do that? It's fair use, I think. So I think we are. So I'm gonna show you the clip. It's fucking gold. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's I don't want to explain it because you just have to watch it. You can't. Oh god. It's beautiful.
I actually haven't seen it.
You have. Oh my god, no. It's a work of fucking art. It's an absolute just. Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful. I had like a full body. Never mind, but
it was just the world's biggest cock.
He's such an ass. Okay, what? Let me just find it. Oh Lord. I think this is it. Look, can you hear? What's it? Let me just mute myself and look for it. Okay, you talk.
All right, everybody, I'm talking, and Neil's an idiot. Ha ha ha. I don't even think he can hear me. I know. All right. Yeah. So I don't know. Beto O'Rourke seems like an asshole, but I haven't listened to too much of what he's had to say. So this is more Neil's thing, that he hates Beto O'Rourke. So I don't know what he's looking at. I think he. I don't even know what the fuck to say. Neil does 99% of the talking. So I just shut up and say, yeah, And now I feel like I'm just talking myself in this room. It's very
I
odd.
found it, but I want to say something first because there's been so much bullshit. Okay, what the fuck is everyone speaking in Spanish in the Democratic primary? So some of the questions are just straight up asked in full Spanish and then answered in full Spanish. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so clearly not because they want to or have to. It's because they want to get the Latino vote, and it's so clearly a fucking hack move.
And I'm sure the Latinos see it too.
I'm sure I cannot believe anyone would be that stupid. Like, he spoke Spanish, voting for him. Like, I don't see that happening. Like, it's so fucking, it's just like, okay. I'm going to show you the question. So I wasn't able to find, I'll just show, okay. So, all right. All right, make sure to tell me the audio is okay too.
It's good.
All right. So Beto O'Rourke right now, Richard Francis O'Rourke.
Actually, lower it a little bit though.
All right, I'm gonna call him Richard Francis. Okay, from now I'm gonna call him Richard Francis.
Okay.
Okay, so Richard here was asked if Richard Francis was asked if he would want to. He was asked if a 70% tax on, I think, millionaires, Americans make, no, a 70% tax on Americans make more than $10 million, if he would support that. He was just asked that, okay? That is word for word the question he was just asked, okay? Word for word. This is very important. You must understand this. Those are the exact words that exited the woman's lips who asked this, one of the moderators. The moderator said those exact words. I'll repeat it because you have to understand. She said exactly this. Would you support a 70% tax on Americans who make more than $10 million? Now, this is a millisecond later because she just asked the question. Camera pans to Richard. Richard answers the direct, very clear question with this.
This economy has got to work for everyone. And right now we know that it isn't. And it's going to take all of us coming together to make sure that it does. Necesitamos incluir cada persona en el éxito de esta economía. Pero si queremos hacer eso, necesitamos incluir cada persona en nuestra democracia. Cada votante necesitamos la representación y cada voz necesitamos escuchar. Right now we have a system that favors those who can pay for access and outcomes. That's how you explain an economy that is rigged to corporations and to the very wealthiest. A $2 trillion tax cut that favored corporations while they were sitting on record piles of cash and the very wealthiest in this country at a time of historic wealth inequality. A new democracy that is revived because we returned power to the people, no PACs, no gerrymandering, automatic and same-day voter registration to bring in more voters, and a new Voting Rights Act to get rid of the barriers that are in place now. That's how we each have a voice in our democracy and make this economy work for everybody.
That's time, sir. I'll give you 10 seconds to answer if you want to answer the direct question. Would you support a 70% individual marginal tax rate? Yes, no, or pass?
I would support a tax rate and a tax code that is fair to everyone. Tax capital
70%?
At the same rate that you tax ordinary income. Take that corporate tax rate up to 28%. You would generate the revenues you need to pay for the...
Okay, what the fuck? Okay. Did you... What the fuck? What was that? What was that? Okay, he goes, I'll support a 28% corporate tax rate. Corporate, he won't even answer, not an individual tax. He didn't answer, he's talked so much, he didn't answer the question. This is why I hate him. This is why I hate him so much.
Yeah, he just is like a complete shill, whatever it was, shell.
I mean, he's such a shill, yeah. This is why I hate him so much. Like, would you support a 70% tax on Americans make more than $10 million? We need in this economy to tax something that works.
It just seems like he had the whole thing planned out and he was just waiting.
Oh, he definitely did.
But it wasn't. Yeah, but it was just like not
His
the
whole
right.
plan was to spit that, just to vomit that out the second he got a chance to start talking.
Yeah. It's just not, and it just completely makes him look like an idiot.
Which he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's better. Oh, that's Richard Francis. Moving on from Richard Francis.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Kamala Harris. Go to Kamala Harris. All right.
Communist Harris.
Communist Harris. I really do not like Kamala Harris either. I'm so upset because I don't really like anyone. Okay, we'll get to people that I personally genuinely like in this. So a few people that I genuinely like, I like this person. I do not like Kamala Harris. Okay, let's look up something before we get to Kamala Harris's platform. Let's look up some of her history.
Oh yeah, she has the record for incarcerating the most amount of African American people. And where is it? She was a prosecutor in Illinois?
I don't know, but she was the Attorney General for California.
Then California probably. Yeah, she incarcerated the most amount of African Americans in her state. It was like I thought that was so funny.
Let's look up.
All right. But yeah, she also just is like so fucking authoritarian.
Right.
Like,
I'm trying to find the
the what?
Okay, let's see this. Okay, so this is an ad or something. I'm gonna skip. All right, just wait. So yeah, let's keep kind of. I'm trying to find something right now.
Yeah, I just like I don't know. All of her policies seem so authoritarian, and especially in the debate, she just seems so grandstand.
I have an example of her authoritarianism.
Okay.
This is probably the best example I can give. Okay, here's the Washington Post. So I think this is the right one. It might not be though. So bear with me.
When I was district attorney, I did an analysis of who the homicide victims were who are under the age of 25. And the information came back to me, 94% of them were high school dropouts. And I said, look, I'm prepared to play the bad guy on this. I do not intend to put any parent in jail, and no parent went to jail.
And no parents did go to jail, okay. Were no parents jailed in Kamala Harris anti-truancy. Okay, so it looks like Kamala Harris, what she did was that, so first of all, her entire logic seems to be fucking stupid from the beginning. 92% of homicide victims were high school dropouts. So if I won't get murdered. Like, I can understand not becoming a murderer, but like forcing me to go to high school so I won't get
that's not your business.
I clearly, like, correlation doesn't always equal causation, okay? Perhaps it's a reverse correlation. Perhaps it's more people. Perhaps it's the fact that people that get killed are more likely to drop out of high school. Not people that drop out of high school are more likely to get killed.
Or Neil. Or it could be a scenario. Now, I'm not saying it is a scenario, but it could be like a scenario where maybe you live in a impoverished place and you need to drop out of high school to support your family. You live in low income. Maybe you have to do, I don't know, like this is going to sound weird, like gang related or just illegal activities to support your family. And then that results in homicide. But you have to drop out of high school to support your family.
So the way to spot an authoritarian is like what's Dylan saying. When there are complex, nuanced problems and they just want to slap a governmental fix on it.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
It almost never works. And it's a very easy way to like screw things up.
Yeah, just because you see, it's like, oh, look, I see high rate of this. And the same people that have the high rate of this. That must mean that they're the same.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's just not how that works.
Let's keep watching this, though.
Kamala Harris was the district attorney of San Francisco from 2004 to 2011 and attorney general of California from 2011 to 2017. In San Francisco, Harris implemented an anti-truancy program that threatened to prosecute parents of chronically absent students.
Okay,
when Harris...
Right there. Okay, so forget the jail thing, okay? She wants to implement the anti-truancy campaign program that threatens to prosecute parents of chronically absent students. Okay. that is by definition an authoritarian policy.
Even if she's like, oh, actually, nobody went to jail. I just said something really stupid. Nothing bad even happened. It's like, yeah, but you still believed it.
Yeah, and implemented an anti-Jewish.
And she didn't even, in that thing, she didn't even say she was wrong, did she?
No, I don't think so, no.
Has she ever said she thought she was wrong or said she was
I
sorry?
think she's too much of a I don't know. I don't want to say anything that I might be wrong about, but I think she's too much of a politician to do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about comment. I don't like even looking at her face because I hate that idea so much.
Mm-hmm.
Stop sharing.
It's so beyond just stupid. It's not even just stupid.
So let's talk about the principles. Okay. Now let's talk about the quick principles. So on a principled stance, I don't think it should be against the law. It should not be against the law to want to not send your kid to a public institution.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be against the law for you not wanting your kid to follow the exact standards of the state.
Yeah.
It's so blindly authoritarian, it's not even funny.
Yeah, there's literally no reasoning behind it. And it's just trying to go for the American people. It's like, oh, look at this obvious thing that, oh, look at this. This happened. These people have high rates of this, and these people
Who are the absent kids? Okay, who are the absent kids? Is it rich people, parents who are just like,
yeah, it's like
people
aren't going to school for a reason.
No, it's always going to be the poor families that have very complex and nuanced issues why they can't send their kids to school, and now they have Kamala Harris breathing down their necks trying to prosecute them.
Yeah, it's just lunacy.
It's absolute. It's this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, just think about the scenarios that these people are in where they can't send their kids to school.
You know, one person.
It's obviously stressful enough.
Prosecuted for this. A single person being prosecuted for this is too much.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Dylan and I, we go to a Sudbury school. School. It's an alternative school, and so far, I mean, we won't get to that. We've done many episodes on that kind of stuff before. But sure, the thing is that a freedom to educate as you will the state shouldn't be required to educate you. Like it's not a slippery slope, but it's a matter of principle. The state shouldn't require you to be educated a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's just crazy.
I don't think there's anybody. No, I don't think, and none of the people.
And just imagine what like that would be like if you had almost like a mass manipulation of people, where it's like you've had these mandatory places. I know how I know that's how it is now, but imagine if it was like under the threat of imprisonment. Like that's crazy.
That's so.
I know, like that's how our system is now. Is like a mass manipulation factory almost, and like you just want to make it mandatory. Like how that sounds so insane that you don't even have a choice to go to other options like Sudbury. Like Sudbury wouldn't even be an option under the threat of
technically
prosecution.
I don't know. I guess technically it would be because you'd still be going to school, but also I think it's possible that it might be in line with like having to take certain tests. I don't know.
I don't know. Either way.
But regardless, there should be no governmental requirements for
telling people how to raise their children. What the fuck?
I guarantee you, all of the people that are homeless on the streets right now and are in poverty, all of them are from complex, nuanced situations where they did probably start going to public school and perhaps most likely did drop out. But none of them are from homes where the parents were not abusive, kind, supportive, and sent them either to a Sudbury school or unschooled them and supported them. In other words, like, oh yeah, I was just too much of a fucking idiot to get any job, and I never got off my ass because I never went to a public school, and now forever. I guarantee you,
it's not as simple as that.
What are you saying?
And honestly, it's not as simple as that.
Or if any of them are, it's because of a complex, nuanced situation. We don't blame the public school system because there are many public school kids who are on the homeless on the streets. I guarantee you, if there was one Sudbury kid or unschooled on the streets, there'd be a fucking uproar.
And honestly, it's just trying to make things simple for the American people, the American voters. It's like, oh, it just is so, it's so slimy.
Like it's oversimplifying an issue so much to the point.
And that's how authoritarianism starts.
Yeah.
With just trying to
oversimplify wouldn't it be great if no one killed anyone? Yeah, it would be amazing.
Let's ban guns. That'll work.
Let's ban guns. You have a curfew now. Like, you see the problem?
Yeah, it
like,
very quickly
what?
spiraled out of
Kamala Harris
control.
like, what if no one was murdered? Really? Okay, you have to go to school. Like, okay, let's say
That's
this.
just how it starts.
Now, let's say, not just if you have to go to school. Let's say, okay, you have to go to an institute. All right, let's take the school word out of it. Let's tell you what it actually is. You have to go to an institution that teaches you things that our society has deemed to be correct. Our society has deemed to be for these things to be correct, and these certain things to be important. I mean, obviously, math is like correct regardless of where you go to learn it, because I mean there are shit methods which public schools teach, but math is correct regardless. It would just be like what we deem is correct for you to learn. We think you need to learn this way at this time. And that is what public school is. You need to learn this. You need to learn a certain method, like certain methods.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many stories about how people, there are methods of math that they just don't really,
Yeah, there's just different ways to do it. I know I got in trouble for just doing it in different ways, doing math, for trying it different ways.
The answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so you have to learn what we want you to learn. You have to do it the way we want you to do it. You have to show up at this exact time. I mean, what does that sound like to you? Sounds like authoritarian, like camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We can move on.
I'm not saying public schools are evil institutions. There's no good to them. I mean,
Obviously.
We're just saying that, like, you shouldn't be forced to go. Like, even if you don't agree with any of our stances on education at all, about the public system, about cyber, about unschooling, you should at least, if you are a reasonable person who believes in personal freedom, you should at least be able to agree with us, stand with freedom, and believe that you should have the choice to not send your kids there. And I guarantee you that there's not really that the only reason there would be a kid on the street from like a quote unschooling situation is that the parents are already horribly like abusive and neglectful, which would already invoke child like endangerment laws.
Mm-hmm.
This law doesn't help anything that other laws wouldn't. Okay.
Was DA, no parent went to jail under the program. However, that changed when Harris became the Attorney General of California and implemented a version of the policy statewide. While there is no statewide data of parental prosecutions for truant children, there is still anecdotal, documented evidence. In 2012, for example, when Harris was an AG, a mom was jailed for 180 days because her child missed more than 10% of the school year. In 2013, a local radio station documented the arrest of 6 Orange County parents. Harris carefully crafts and limits the scope of her statement by saying no parent went to jail under her tenure as San Francisco DA, but leaves out that some parents did go to jail as a result of her policy when she was Attorney General. She earns 2 Pinocchios.
Fuck you, Kamala Harris. Go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think we should move on from her. We talked a lot about her.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's the best way to end it. Just fuck you, okay? If you disagree with us, I cannot.
I mean, she sounded smart in the debates, but it was such fucking grandstanding.
If you disagree with me, like I don't understand. Like I normally say I understand, I respect it. I mean,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
But if you disagree with me that parents shouldn't go to jail unless they're abusing their children, then I don't understand you. And
it doesn't make any logical sense to me. And honestly, I might even be curious to hear somebody's argument for it.
But if you do believe that, fine. But don't pretend that you fight for like a free America. Don't pretend you care about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pretend you care about freedom in America or in any country ever, because you definitely don't.
Just beyond crazy.
She's probably my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I hate her. Anyways, but we can't even get into the other stuff. I hate her for so many other reasons too. I don't like to use the word hate sometimes because it seems like I'm just being like a. I really dislike her. Also, she's like Dylan said, she's just moral grandstanding all the time.
Constantly, that was the whole debate.
Like it's like every time I have topics about her, she's like, oh, by the way, did anyone know here? I'm black and a woman. Really?
Did anybody notice that? I don't even know. Did you know that Joe Biden? Did you know that?
Joe Biden, did you know I'm a woman? It's so stupid. I'm not saying it's not an important thing that, I'm not saying like it's a bad thing by any means. No, it's just that.
I want my voters to know that I am black and I always will be a woman. Always.
No matter how corrupt the DNC, but I mean, it's yeah.
No matter how big of a dick I am, I will always be a woman.
And it's like people are bringing up like complex issues. Like people are talking about abortion. In the second, I swear, like someone brings up abortion, I just cringe because I know Kamala Harris is going to go, I'm a woman, by the way, and she's not going to give any stance. She's just going to say, I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it's not a big woman's issue. It's not a big woman's issue. It's a huge woman's issue. But you shouldn't. The second someone else talks about it, you don't just go, I'm a woman, by the way. Just so you know, like this. That's the reason. It's not even that I don't like it. I don't like it, but it's not even that. It's the reason the American people do not like identity politics.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're using identity politics as like as a whole weapon and as a defense, as everything, you're going to lose and you're going to look like an asshole. Anyways, moving on. I don't like her. Anyways.
Who are you going to talk about next?
Let's talk about...
let's talk about somebody we liked. I kind of liked Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, Pete Buttigieg. Yeah, I do like Pete Buttigieg. Let's look at his platform.
At least in the debates he sounded very smart, but I have not looked too much into it.
Yeah, I do like him. He seems like a cool guy. Issues. Okay. So one of his first things he says on his website is I love how he immediately acknowledges that threats to freedom do come from companies and the government too.
Mm-hmm.
He says threats to freedom come not just from government, but also corporations with too much power and economic and social conditions that undermine the freedom of individuals and communities. Our vision of freedom must address all dimensions of life, including political, economic, and social freedoms. Like, I know it's just a general statement, and I know we make fun of general statements for being like just like pandering. But I mean, but nowadays it's good for someone to acknowledge that they're at least not authoritarian, as we just saw. This is a good one. Medicare for all who want it. All who want it, keyword here. People, universal health care. The healthcare system that we have today is both unjust and inefficient. Unjust and inefficient, sorry, I can't see because there's something in the way. Unjust and inefficient for the first time since World War I. Life expectancy is falling. If you're uninsured, you're paying too much for healthcare. If you're insured, you're still paying too much. This burdens hardworking families, especially communities of color. The most. Other developed countries provide universal coverage for less than what Americans currently pay, and with better results. The American people should not have to settle for less. Pete supports achieving Medicare for all through a pathway that helps improve people's lives along the way while allowing the economy to adjust. He calls it Medicare for all who want it. This plan makes a Medicare-type public option basically improve healthcare equity, invest in materials and infant health, lower drug prices, make long-term healthcare affordable, invest resources in mental health. I definitely agree with that one. Combat the opioid and methamphetamines. Yeah, opioid, that's a huge one right there. I do agree. I like this idea about how community colleges for low income students, it can be debt free. For lower income families, we must make public college truly debt free. That's why I like public college being debt free for low income families.
Well, it shouldn't be that all college is free, because then what the fuck is even the point?
I know, but this thing, it's like it's public colleges being debt free for low income families.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very clearly, it's not just a blanket policy that destroys, the idea of college.
Yeah.
I'm going to ignore infrastructure. Partisan. Yeah, I mean, let's go to security, climate change. What is he going to do? I mean, these are probably all pretty bipartisan except for climate change, obviously. Gun laws. All right, let's see this. Penalties in generation of age restriction. I'm just going to make sure and see if there are. Pete knows that America can protect gun rights and balance the Second Amendment with sensible gun laws. He understands that solving the gun epidemic requires a comprehensive approach with universal background checks, the foundation for reducing gun violence. Pete also understands that solutions to gun violence are not an either-or proposition, and universal background checks must for other reforms to reduce gun deaths nationwide. Deaths caused by suicide, daily urban violence, school shootings, domestic violence, and accidents. Okay, this is stupid. You can't reduce deaths by suicide by banning guns.
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense.
That's just beyond stupid.
It just doesn't make any logical sense.
Yeah, it's beyond
Well,
stupid.
you think that's going to stop people from killing themselves? What?
Also, he wants to get rid of the Electoral College.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like he has a lot of reasonable stuff. And then also a lot of just bullshit Democrat.
And he wants to get rid of gerrymandering and the Electoral College. I don't know how he'll get rid of the Electoral College because that'll require a constitutional amendment. But gerrymandering, he wants to establish independent statewide restricting commissions. I don't know.
I'm just happy people are talking about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm just happy this is on the. I don't think he's gonna win. But I like him. I like him a lot. Let's talk about Andrew Yang.
The sexy Asian man.
I know.
The beautiful man.
So sexy right now. Some call me a futurist, but I say I'm a presentist. Other politicians are just stuck in the past. I know normally I make fun of that statement, but I just love Andrew Yang so much. It's so clearly slightly ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I really like Andrew Yang.
I know he won't win, but I really I'm just happy he's out there.
I'm happy he's bringing attention to certain issues.
Because he's really smart.
Yeah. All right. UBI. Let's talk about that. Now let's talk about why I don't like him. One reason why I don't like him, and I hate that. I hate that it.
It's kind of like the main thing about this whole platform.
Okay. Are you seeing this, people? Are you seeing this?
I want to read what he actually has to say.
I'm so excited to see this. I'm very excited. I thought he didn't answer at all, but I'm genuinely excited. I'm not just being like a dick and like, oh, I'm excited to see what this guy has to say. I'm legitimately excited. The federal government recently printed $4 trillion for the bank bailouts in its quantitative easing program with no inflation. Our plan for a universal basic income mostly uses money already in the economy. In monetary economics, lending theory states that inflation is based on changes in the supply of money. Our UBI plan has minimal changes in the supply of money because it is funded by a value-added tax. But by the way, value-added tax is basically talking about basically ways to tax Amazon and like things like that because they just aren't taxed properly. What I do like about what's being talked about is like in all the things like we're fixing the shit tax plans.
Mm-hmm.
It is likely that some companies will increase their prices in response to people having more buying power, and a VAT would also increase prices marginally. However, there will still be competition between firms that will keep prices in check. Over time, technology will continue to decrease the price of most goods where it is allowed to do so. Clothing, media, consumer electronics, etc. The main inflation we currently experience is in sectors where automation has not been applied due to government regulation or inapplicability. Primary housing, education, healthcare. The real issue isn't universal basic income. It's whether technology and automation will be allowed to reduce prices in different sectors. What do you think about that? I think it's a pretty good explanation.
Mm.
So he's basically his
He
basic
doesn't want to like print more money. He just wants to use the money that already exists.
yeah, and his basic thing is saying studies have shown, and like not studies, but in history, inflation is caused by inflation is caused basically inflation is just caused by printing more money, not we're not even redistributing it. We're taxing it, and then yeah. And he's talked a lot about how it would work with it's putting money back into the economy.
Mm-hmm. Which it would.
But yeah,
Maybe.
I really do. I understand what he's saying, and I really do. I do understand it. What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look more into it, honestly.
But
Because
also,
there's so much. It's so different from anything else. Just giving everybody X amount of money every month.
I know, and it's so good. It's really I do like it to an extent because he's talking about how it could help. It's putting so much money back into the economy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
really is.
Like just adding money into people's pockets.
Yeah,
Just to spend.
like it's putting a lot of money into the economy. Like this money is just going to sit around. It's going to be put back into the economy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'd have to look more into it.
And like you said, Dylan, like a lot of inflation will be caused by just people keeping this money, but a lot of it's going to be put back into the economy.
Yeah.
And then it's like people are saying, people are going to spend it on drugs and shit. Okay, well, first of all, it's I really like what he said. The money in the money that belongs to America belongs to us. It's our money.
Mm-hmm.
So why should it be a bad thing for us to receive our money? It's our money.
Yeah.
You're all citizens of America. It is our money.
It's just simplifying Medicare.
I know. In Alaska, they've implemented it, as I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like everything else he says, though. Look for some. Is there anything else?
I don't know. I just think he's very smart.
Yeah, I really like him. He's still my number one guy. Buttigieg number two. Joe Biden is a really far away third, and
Really far away.
really far away third. And Kamala Harris is firm in final place. Actually, I don't know. My man Richard Francis. I don't know where he's going. My man Richard Francis.
I mean, he'll just be a comedy show. The whole thing will just be a complete shit show.
I know. My boy Richard.
So we can. I think I'm like. Is there anybody else you really want to talk about? Like the only one's Elizabeth Warren, but I don't really have much interest talking about her.
Oh, by the way, here's the other thing about Andrew Yang. His platform is just ridiculous. I don't want to cover his platform because there are just so many policies there, and I agree with pretty much all of them.
Yeah, well, we can do that in another show. Maybe we can do another show like that, and the next the next show can be like what?
Elizabeth Warren.
You want to do her?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I want to do her.
I think Neil, you can talk about her more because I don't. You're
Yes.
more interested in her.
Let me say, I like Elizabeth Warren as a person, but her policies, no thanks.
And then you want to be finished after Elizabeth Warren?
Yes, let's do Elizabeth Warren will be our final. All right. All right, here it is. She's supposed to end Washington corruption. Basically, I think she wants to ban like funding of campaigns and like that. I don't know how it works exactly. American Securities Board.
And she's the original, like I said to Neil, Rachel Dolezal or whatever her name is, the lady that pretends to be a trans African American lady. Holy shit. She's the whitest person in the whole fucking world. I'm Native American. I'm a Native American. And then she takes the test. She's like, 5.00000000014 Native American. Ha, Donald Trump, you have to donate $2 million. Ha ha ha. Like, what the fuck? What did you just say?
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Like, you're like nothing Native American.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I don't want to. What is with their website? I'm sorry. Okay, but none of these are the things I want to talk about. Let me just get off the website because it was a thing she said in the debate that I want to talk about, not here. So she said in the debate in the second one, she said she wanted to do what she wanted, or the first one. Sorry, my bad. She wanted to do. What was it? It was. She also wanted to. Oh, the biggest one. She talked about wanting to get rid of private health insurance. That's fucking ridiculous.
Like, I know, like, if you have more money, you should be able to have better, like, hospital care,
Like there should be a standard for everyone.
medical care.
But if you want to buy something else, you should be able to.
That's nicer. That's like, yeah, everybody has a standard of X, but if you have more money, you can have a higher standard of X.
Yeah.
That's how it should work. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Absolutely just absolutely ridiculous. It's abolishing
Complete grandstanding.
Abolishing a massive sector of the economy. I think she also is something else, but that was the main thing. She also had the same thing with the colleges, I think, and obviously we'd already talked about that with Bernie Sanders. Although I think Elizabeth Warren had actually come up with ways to actually cover the cost, unlike Bernie Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Because what did Bernie Sanders want to do? He wanted like a
0.01% tax on all Wall Street transactions.
And someone did the math that would never pay for it, right?
Yeah, like wouldn't even be close.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to do that. It's the same thing with it's essentially the same thing with wanting to abolish healthcare. Because then everybody can like if you wanted a higher standard of education, you go to the place with the higher standard of education where you pay more money.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. And of course,
I'm not saying
as soon as the government gets involved, the whole country will go down.
Less money shouldn't be entitled to certain services. We're saying that certain services you should be able to pay for. You should be able to pay for better care in them, because if you can't do that, that's the definition of not being able to spend your money freely.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if the government regulates what you can and can't pay for, it really, like with private health insurance, you really get into a huge problem where it bans the idea of spending your money on certain things and bans the idea of capitalism in a way. Elizabeth Warren calls herself a capitalist, which I do appreciate because I don't want someone identifying as a socialist as the president. But some of her ideas are just way too radical, and not in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly that abolishing the private sector, very, 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 very stupid, because it completely undermines the whole idea of being able to pay for a service. I'm not saying that you should get free healthcare. Free healthcare should be a thing, but if you want to, you should have the freedom to do that. Anyways, all right.
I think that was a good show.
We have not covered all of them, obviously, because there are 20 candidates that were in the debates, and there are 25 total that are running.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that I did want to cover that we didn't. Amy Klobuchar maybe being one, but she didn't really stand out that much. But no, those are the main ones. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can do something on Bill Weld at some point. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do a show on that, though. That'd be...
Yeah.
You want to show that right now? You want to see who he is real quick?
Real quick.
So Bill Weld is someone who, the poor soul who's running against Trump in the primary, who will definitely lose.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, what's his? Is he actually running as a Republican or as a Libertarian?
No, he's running as a Republican. He's trying to go after him in the primary.
Really?
Yep. He's definitely going to lose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the Republican national candidate is Bill Weld. Said nobody.
Not happening. It makes you wonder why he's even like...
I mean, it probably has to be a protest against him, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's a libertarian.
Yeah.
Bill Weld policies. Bill Weld has a long record of supporting abortion rights. He wants to remove anti-abortion language from the GOP platform. Support abortion rights, moderate stance on social issues. Clinic access is guaranteed, fundamental constitutional right. Pro-choice stance means ineligible for ambassadorship. Op-ed. Pro-choice his organization.
So he's the least Republican ever.
Well, he's a libertarian. He's a rogue. I think it'd be accurate to call him a rogue candidate. You know what a rogue candidate is?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So rogue candidate, for those who don't know, is basically when you enter the primary and you're not really a member of the party, but you just want to win. Donald Trump was still a Republican, but he was basically a rogue candidate. He was so different than everyone else. He was definitely a rogue candidate. The problem is Bernie Sanders is a rogue candidate. He's an independent socialist.
Mm.
Balance the federal budget. Oh, holy shit. Good luck. I'm totally in favor of that. Just trying it is good for me. We can't get into why the national debt can't be solved, but it is a good idea.
Just get a computer to do it, honestly.
Yeah. Priority zero budgeting, but cut 20% waste. Cut 20% waste in every federal agency. Honestly, I'm okay with that.
Mm.
Abolish wasteful programs. Bill Weld on civil rights. Supported domestic partners for same-sex marriage. Supports gay marriage. Prosecute police for civil rights violations. Holy fuck, who is this man? Opposes weekend furloughs for convicted murderers and rapists. What's a furlough? Furloughs. Furloughs.
I've heard. I don't know what that means.
When we catch the bad guys, we've got the hammer on. We've got to hammer them. I guess so. I think criminal justice. I don't know. Okay. Support the death penalty for cop killers. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the death penalty. I don't agree that the state should have.
Not because it's unethical to kill people based on their crimes, because the state gets the power to kill people.
Yeah, like I don't like it because I don't like it because not because I don't think the state should have. I don't think the state should have the power to kill its citizens legally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll stop this up real quick. On drugs, supports medical marijuana, accept the benefits of candidates, allow veteran seniors to use, tighten opioid prescription rules, keep off the streets. Okay, read. 100 million Americans who smoked dope are not criminals. I love how he says smoked dope. Love this guy. What a legend.
What a legend.
The guys who smoke dope, they're not criminals. Substance abuse cases should not go to criminal prison. Yeah, okay, awesome, great. Basically, he's a cool, what a fucking god. Control of education by states and parents, more choice. Who is this man, and where do I let him enter?
I think this just goes to show how much we like libertarianism.
Fucking, can I just like have, he wants to rejoin the Paris Climate Accords. 2. Can I just, where is this man, and how do I get to his penis?
Oh my god.
I love how he puts, one of the things is climate change is real, rejoin the Paris Accords. He just like states it there. He's like, oh my god. Carbon trading credits, but no carbon tax. Who is this man? Can I marry him? So this man, he wants to fight climate change in a way that incentivizes companies, but not penalizes them.
Yeah.
The most libertarian, you beautiful son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, basically, he's very sexy. To me, at least. Oh my god. Oh, I love this. Bill Weld on families and children. There's what, Dylan. All right, I'm gonna show you this. Okay. I know we gotta go, but let me just show you this real quick. Okay.
Okay.
It's amazing. All right, look at all these things. Okay. Look at many issues. Then there's Bill Weld on. You see this, right?
Yeah.
Bill Weld on families and children. Government out of your pocketbook and out of your bedroom. I love it. Oh my God.
It's awesome.
He's like on families and children. Not my fucking business.
Yeah. I don't care.
Oh, look, return to free trade. Tariffs counterproductive. Yeah, tariffs counterproductive. Yes, they are counterproductive. Like he's not, because Donald Trump is implementing tariffs, which is so un-Republican, libertarian, anti-libertarian.
Mm.
Okay. He supports gun control, but obviously he supports the right to own all guns. All right, one last thing, then we'll go. On healthcare and immigration, then we're done. On healthcare, supports increased Medicaid access, more consumer choice instead of single payer, tweak Obamacare with more free market and more choices. Oh my God. Oh
Everything he says is so logical.
Oh, I love you. Oh my God. Take on ISIS with FBI task forces like we took on the mafia. I love how he says that. Like we took on the mafia. Bill Weld on immigration. Trump deportation policy is like Nazi Germany. Oh shit. This is my man. Okay, we're done. We're done. That's the best way to end it. Bill Weld, 2020. All right. If it can't be Yang, it can't be Yang or Buttigieg. Honestly, Bill Weld is better than Buttigieg for me. He might be better than Andrew Yang. He's probably better than Andrew Yang. I don't know. Bill Weld is definitely my second favorite, probably first favorite for 2020. And he's a Republican. Oh my God, what an amazing man. Anyways, regardless, if you like Trump, I understand. I fucking hate him. I hope Bill Weld beats his ass. Anyways, all right, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day. I hope you learned something. Thank you.